welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is Purity, and remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you for those who have subscribed. And today we're crocheting this this is mango yellow sweater, and it looks like this. We have this ribbing at the hands. I used the front post and back post, and even the bottom ribbing looks like this. It's so cute. And I used the Alpine stitch to make this, and this is how the back of the sweater looks. I wanted to give it this off-shoulder vibe thing, and it's really vibing. So without so much talking, let's get started with the video, okay? This is how we are going to work on this sweater. We will do the front panel and the back panel first. And all you need is your shoulder to shoulder measurements plus 3.5 inches. Then we will do the sleeves, the ribbing at the sleeves. We will do the neckline, which is very simple. And then we'll do the ribbing at the bottom. And this is how our sweater looks generally. So let's begin. I am using Winter King yarn. This is 100% acrylic yarn, and it's 50 grams. This is color 506. I'm using a 4.0 mm hook, a tape measure, and a pair of scissors for this project. To begin, you will make a slip knot, and remember to take your shoulder to shoulder measurements. And then I will chain 80 chains, which is equivalent to 19.5 inches. 19.5 inches is my shoulder to shoulder measurements plus 3.5 inches. We are adding 3.5 inches because we want a kind of baggy sweater which will give the off shoulder vibes. And these are my 80 chains. Looks like this. If we measure this, it should be 19.5 inches long. Okay, and this is our foundation chain. Okay, once you're done, we will chain one, and we are starting with single crochets. Keep the first stitch, go to the next stitch, and we are working with single crochets across all the 80 chains that you have. And I'll meet you once you're done with your single crochets. I am done, and this is how my first row of single crochet looks. We want to begin on row 2. You will chain 2, 1, 2, turn your work, and this row will be a row of double crochets. To do double crochets, always remember to yarn over first, and we will do double crochets across all the chains stroke stitches that you have. I'm done, and that was row 2. Looks like this. We want to begin on row 3. To begin row 3, chain 1, turn your work, and this will be a row of single crochets. So we are doing single crochets across all the stitches that you have, and I'll meet you at the end. I am done, and this is how my work looks. Now we are working on the alpine stitch. To begin with the alpine stitch, we'll chain 2, 1, 2, turn your work, skip the first stitch, go to the second stitch and do a front post. To work on the alpine stitch, it will be a combination of front post and normal double crochets. So I'll be alternating between front post and normal double crochet. As here we did a front post, our next stitch will be a normal double crochet like that, and the third stitch will be a front post, and that's how we'll be working. We'll be alternating between front posts and normal double crochets. And we work like that until the end. I will meet you at the end of this row. And this is how it looks. This is a very beautiful stitch. It looks like this. And now we have to continue with this. Once you're done, okay, I have to show you how we finish up on the row. I did a normal double crochet, and this last stitch I can't do a front post, so on the last stitch you just do a normal double crochet too. Okay, so we have 2 double crochets at the end. We finish up with the double crochet like that. Then we will start on row 3, which is a single crochets. We chain 1, turn your work, and with single crochets we'll start from this very first stitch. Do not skip any stitches for the row of single crochets, and we will do single crochets across all the stitches that you have. Okay, I'm hoping it's clear, and I'll meet you at the end of this row. I am done, and this is how my work looks. We want to begin on the next row. It will be a row of front posts and double crochets. To begin the row, you chain 2. Always chain 2 to begin the row of front post and normal double crochets. Turn your work. Wherever there was a front post, we will put a double crochet. Like here, there's a front post, so we skip that first stitch, go to this next one and put a double crochet. Okay, like that. Skip the first stitch, go to the next one, put a double crochet like that. The next one was a double crochet, so we'll yarn over, go in that double crochet and make a front post like this. Now we're alternating between front posts and normal double crochet. Wherever there's a front post, we will put a double crochet. wherever there's a double crochet, we will put a front post. Okay, so we are working like that, and I'll meet you at the end of this row. I am done with my row, and this is how my work looks. Okay, it looks like this. And remember, at the end here, we are doing 2 double crochets at the end. Okay, so we'll go in here and finish up on that front post like that, and then we'll wind up with a double crochet at the end. Always finish up with a double crochet at the end of your work. Okay, to begin another row, chain 1, and it will be a row of single crochets. And with single crochets, we're beginning from that first stitch. Okay, put a single crochet there and single crochets all the way. That is the only difference. Okay, with double crochets we skip the first stitch. With single crochet we start from the first stitch, and this is how we make the alpine stitch. It's a combination of single crochets, double crochets, and front posts. So do that, and I'll meet you at the end of the row. I'm at the end of the row, and this is how my work looks. We want to begin the next row, so we chain 2, turn your work, and this is a row of front post and normal double crochets. Remember to always keep the first stitch. Wherever there's a front post, we'll put a double crochet. Whenever there's a double crochet, we'll put a front post. In this case, we will start with a front post because this is a double crochet. Okay, go into that double crochet like that and do a front post. The next stitch will be a double crochet, and that is the pattern. This is how we are going to work until we get to 12 inches. I needed a crop top. If you want a longer sweater, you can do more rows. If you want a shorter sweater than mine, you can do less rows. If you want my height, it is 12 inches. So do that, and I'll meet you once you have the inches that you want for your sweater. I am done, and this is how my front panel looks. I started with the front panel, then we'll go to the back panel, and if we measure this, it is 12 inches long. Yes, and I finished it up using single crochet. because we will need to add some ribbing, so I finish up using single crochets, and this is a total of 28 rows. Once you're done, we are going to work on the neckline. This is how the neckline looks. We want to work on this neckline. I'll show you how I did it. Fold your garment into two like that. Make sure it's well aligned. Then fold it again. So you do double fold and it looks like that. You will need stitch markers. Take your stitch marker and put it on the outside of the garment like that, on the first side like that, and lock it in. Take the second stitch marker and put it on the inside part like this. Please make sure your work is aligned because you need a straight garment, okay? So you put the first stitch marker and the second one and make sure it's well aligned like that. Then we will lock the stitch markers, okay? That is how we determine our neckline. When you open this up, it should look like this. If we measure this, they should be the same. So this is 5 inches and the other one also should be 5 inches, okay? And now we are working on the neckline. Reattach your yarn and we will work from the beginning up to where we put our first stitch marker using the same Alpine stitch pattern, okay? Because I finished my rows using single crochets, we'll just begin with the front post and double crochet combination, and we'll work like that until you get to the stitch marker. I am at the stitch marker. Remove your stitch marker and put the last stitch where the stitch marker was, and that will be our last stitch. Once you're done, you'll chain one, turn your work. Now we are turning from here and do single crochets all through until where we started our first row of the neckline. And we're going to do this for only 3 rows, okay? The neckline only needs 3 rows on each side where we put a stitch marker. So do single crochets and I'll meet you at the end of the row. I am done and this is the end. We want to begin a new row. Chain 2, turn your work, and this will be a row of double crochets and front post. Remember always to skip the first stitch, go to the next one. Wherever there is a front post, you'll put a double crochet. Wherever there's a double crochet, we'll put a front post, and we are working like that until we get to where our stitch marker was. And remember, we're only doing 3 rows, so work like that and I'll meet you at the end of your 3 rows. I'm done, and this is how it looks. That is our neck area. Those are 3 rows. So you're going to reattach your yarn on the other side, and please cut off your yarn when you finish working on the first neckline. And remember to always reinforce your work so that it doesn't run. Once you're done, we'll reattach your yarn on the other side and also work 3 rows. Okay, and do that. I'll meet you once you are done with your 3 rows. I am done with both rows, and this is how it looks. So go ahead and make, this is my front panel, go ahead and make an identical back panel exactly like this one. So you'll have 2 panels, front panel and the back panel like this, and we will have to join these 2 together at the shoulder area, which we were making, the 3 rows that we were making. Sorry, I mean the neck area stroke shoulder area. We'll have to join it. So once you have your 2 outfits ready, we will join. And to join this, we are joining at the wrong side. Arrange your work like this. Put the shoulder areas together like that, and we will join using, make sure it's well aligned. We will join using single crochets. If you have a darning needle, you can use a darning needle here, but I will use a smaller hook, which is 2.5 mm to join. Okay, and remember we are using single crochets to join. I am done, and this is how it looks. Remember, this is the wrong side. We are working on the wrong side of your garment. Cut off your yarn and reinforce your work, and you're going to do the same thing to the other shoulder area stroke neck area. We're going to also join using single crochets. This is how the right side looks like. So work on the other side too, and I'll meet you once you're done. Okay? Once you're done, it will look like this, and we are going to put this aside and start working on the sleeves. This is how your work should look. Okay, and we want to work on the sleeves. And now working on the sleeve area, the same way we worked with the front panel and back panel, you need to get your arm measurements. My arm measurement is 14 inches, which is equivalent to 60 chains. So right now I'm just chaining 60 chains, and we are using the same hook size, which is 4.0 mm, and I'm chaining 60 chains. Remember to take your arm measurements to get the accurate sleeve measurements. Okay, so once I'm done with these 60 chains, we'll do the same thing that we did with the front panel. I am done, and these are 60 chains. So we are doing now single crochets, chain 1, and we do single crochets across all the chains that you have, and I'll meet you at the end of the row. I am done, and the second row will be a row of double crochets, chain 2, turn your work, and we are doing a row of double crochets across all the 60 chains that we have. Okay, that is the last stitch, and that is a row of double crochets, chain 1, and now we are doing a row of single crochets, and we'll do single crochets until the end, and I'll meet you at the end of the row. This is how my work looks. Now we chain 2. We want to begin working on the alpine stitch. Turn your work after chaining 2, and we are beginning to work on the alpine stitch. Skip the first stitch, go to the next one and do a double crochet, go to the next and do a front post. And remember, we've worked with this pattern. It will be simpler now to follow through, and we will do this until you get to the height of your sleeve measurement. From the shoulder part to my wrist area, I want it to be 17 inches, keeping in mind we will put the ribbing at the wrist area. So when you measure, leave a smaller part of the wrist area. Okay, so I'll meet you once you have your work done, and I'll meet you when I have my 17 inches. That is the length of the sleeve I want. Okay, this is my work, and as I said, this is 17 inches. I lost my hook, so this is the same hook size, 4.0 mm. I misplaced my other hook. So if we measure this, it should be 17 inches. That is the length of the sleeve. Yes, this is 17 inches. And now we want to start working on the ribbing of the wrist area. Remember to always finish your work using the single crochet stitch. Okay, So to begin your work, before we begin, this is what we want to do. We want to make this small ribbing area at the wrist. It looks like this, and to do this we have to do reductions. So we have the small ribbing at the wrist area, and I will show you how to make the reductions. It's very easy to follow through. I'm hoping you did not cut off your yarn, because we're just continuing from where we left, and we're using the 4.0 mm hook still. So chain 2. Let me just zoom in so you can see clearly. 1, 2. We are doing double crochets, so you yarn over, and we are beginning with decreases. Go in the first stitch like that and come out from the second stitch like that. That is a decrease you have done, and then complete that using a double crochet like that. Okay, I hope you understand that. Yarn over, skip, of course you skip those 2 stitches and go to the next stitch. Always remember to yarn over, and we are placing the hook on the next stitch. That is after skipping the first 2 stitches that you have reduced. Go to the next one and come out from the next stitch like this, and complete that by doing a double crochet. That is the second decrease, and we are going to do decreases all round until we get to the end of our garment right here. Okay, I am done, and this is how it looks. It has reduced. You can tell this by the garment you are working on. So we want to start on the ribbing. You chain 2, turn your work, and our ribbing will be very simple. We are using front posts and back posts. So we will start with the front post here. Always remember to yarn over, then do a front post like that, yarn over, and the next stitch will be a back post. We'll go at the back of the stitch and do a back post, and we are working front post and back post all round. So I will meet you once you're done with your first row of front posts and back posts. I am done, and this is how my work looks. This is row 1. As you can see, the reduction is coming in handy. So we do row 2. To begin row 2, chain 2, turn your work, and for this row, wherever there's a front post, we will put a front post, and wherever there's a back post, we will put a back post, and we will work like that until we get to 4 rows. Okay, so we're just working wherever there's a front post, you'll put a front post, wherever there's a back post, you'll put a back post. And to begin a new row, remember to chain 2 and you turn your work. I am done, and this is how the first ribbing looks like. These are 4 rows of front post and back posts, and your work should look like this. Go ahead and do the same thing to the other sleeve, and I'll meet you once you have both of your sleeves done. Okay, once you're done with your sleeves, we will join them to the garment. You need to lay your garment like this. Take one of your sleeves, and we are working on the wrong side. Remember that. Turn it to the wrong side. This is our wrong side, and fold it into 2 like this. And make sure it is well aligned. Take your stitch marker and put it in the middle of the sleeve area. This is the middle part. Put it in like this and bring it to where we joined our shoulder area. Remember that place, and lock it in like that. Make sure the 2 are joined together. Then you lock it in like this. It should look like this. Make sure everything is well aligned because we want to join the 2 together. Once everything is well aligned, we will use a 2.5 mm hook to join, and you are using single crochets. Remember, you can also use your darning needle. Just making sure everything is well aligned, then we will bring in our 2.5 mm hook and join this together using single crochets. That is how we join the two together, and it looks like this. This is the wrong side. It should look like this, and the right side looks like this. So go ahead and join the other sleeve, and I'll meet you once you have both your sleeves done. And we also join the rest of the garment together using single crochets. Okay. Remember, we are working on the wrong side. Once you finish here with this shoulder area, go ahead and join the rest of the sleeves together and the body together using single crochets, and I'll meet you once you have your outfit well joined together. This is how your work should look. I join the sleeves together and the rest of the garment together, and we use single crochets, and this is on the wrong side. When you turn this around, it should look like this. Once your garment is on the right side, we want to reduce this waist area. As you can see, it's so big, and we will do the ribbing at this waist area. Reattach your yarn, and we will do reductions first, the same way we reduced the wrist area. It's the same way we're going to reduce this waist area. Always remember to yarn over before you start, and we are using double crochets in the reductions. And we are going in and out of 2 stitches the same way we work to the wrist area, and we are working like this all round until we come to the point where we began our reductions. Do that, and I'll meet you at the end. At the end, and this is how my work looks. We will join the beginning to the end using a slip knot like this. And chain 2 to begin a new row. And now this is a row of front posts and back posts. We are alternating between front posts and back posts, and we are working all around using front posts and back posts. I will meet you once you're done at the end. This is how the row 1 looks. And we're always joining the end to the beginning using a slip stitch like this. Chain 2 to begin a new row. And now this is easier because wherever there's a front post, we will put a front post, and wherever there's a back post, we will put a back post. And that is the pattern. We will work like this for a total of 5 rows. And I'll meet you once I'm done with my 5 rows. And remember, we're joining together the beginning to the end using a slip knot, chain 2 to begin a new row. This is how my work looks. I did 5 rows, and this is so beautiful. As you can see, the reduction is well noticed. Now this waist can fit any other sizes. It's not baggy at the bottom. And this is how our work looks. As we complete this, we want to finish up on the neckline. We just want to put the neckline finishing, and we will be done with our outfit. Attach your yarn, and we are doing single crochets all around the neck area. Done with the edging, and this is how my work looks. I went ahead and do 6 reduction in the front part, 2 reductions here. Remember how we do our reductions: 2 reduction in the middle part and 2 reduction in this other side, so that our sweater fits in well at the shoulder area. So remember to do that. And this is how my outfit looks. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you had an easy time following this through. Please remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I will see you in my next video. Have a blessed week. Goodbye.